The state of Sabah in Malaysia, on the northern tip of Borneo Island, is one of the states on Earth that has paid serious attention to issues that are relevant to the objective and themes of the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development in June 2012. These issues include a green economy in the context of sustainable development and poverty eradication, as well as having an institutional framework for such development.
At the end of 1989, we embarked on a project called the Dramakut Sustainable Forest Management Project in collaboration with German experts from their technical agency called GTZ. And after 8 years of groundwork, planning and the execution of the plans, we finally got certified under the gold standard of the Forest Stewardship Council. And we're proud to say that this Dramakut still serves as the longest and oldest certified tropical rainforest in the world under the FSC level. And so we have multiplied that model through various strategies, one through the department itself embarking on more Dramakut models, which now totals about 900,000 hectares which we manage directly, and engaging the energy of the private sector to do similar projects through the FMU concept or the 100-year or the 50-year long-term sustainable license agreement.
Each year, the Sabah Forestry Department would award a certificate of compliance to these long-term licensees. This is a public acknowledgement and recognition that the companies concerned have fully complied with the terms and conditions of their license. In the year 2012, the Chief Minister himself presented the certificates to 15 companies that operate forest management units across the state. Now, about 390,000 hectares in Sabah are fully certified under the Forest Stewardship Council. Natural forest areas in Sabah form part and parcel of the Heart of Borneo, an initiative of the governments of Indonesia, Malaysia and Brunei to jointly conserve and manage on a sustainable basis 22 million hectares of equatorial rainforest. Therein lies some of the most biologically diverse habitats on Earth. Since the Heart of Borneo Declaration was endorsed in the year 2007, these governments have made significant progress on implementation, building capacity on the ground, and pursuing practical projects.
WWF is working with governments, the private sector, and a host of partners to deliver on the bold commitments articulated in the Heart of Borneo Declaration. We need a paradigm shift for growth, where sustainable, clean and efficient growth that is based on renewable resources with a lower carbon footprint can be achieved. We believe that the green economy is good for the people and for the planet. At the same time, it is also profitable for businesses that have the foresight and the innovation to take advantage of the opportunities that the green growth approach presents.
Malaysia as a whole, and the state of Sabah in particular, has indeed been working in close and strong cooperation with the WWF, the UNDP, and other international bodies on greening the economy. Members of the European Union delegation, for instance, have developed a policy dialogue with the Malaysian government to promote the green agenda and thereby contributing to climate change and low carbon development.
Sustainable development is a top priority for the European Union, both at home with us in Europe, but also in our cooperation with third countries, including Malaysia. Now, the state of Sabah in Malaysia has a particularly strong record for sustainable forest management through a very active policy by the State Forestry Department, and we are very keen to be cooperating with them on the sustainable management of Sabah's wonderful forests. Sabah, of course, is also part of the Heart of Borneo initiative, which is a very wise and ambitious initiative for the preservation of the natural habitat in the 3 countries that participate in it, European Union, of course, is a key agency for diminishing the barriers of borders and for promoting border crossing cooperation, in particular on the forest and the natural habitat. So hence our full support to this Heart of Borneo initiative, which the EU will support in every way it can.
The United Nations recognizes that the greater part of the world's biodiversity and ecosystems reside outside protected areas on land and water dedicated to various economic activities such as agriculture, forestry, fisheries, and tourism.
Hence, it is vital to persuade both local communities and particularly businesses to appreciate the vital link between the value of ecosystem goods and services and the need for sustainable development. In this regard, the United Nations recognizes the significant role and importance of Sabah in implementing regional conservation action to create an effective network for sustainable land use and to conserve the biodiversity within the Heart of Borneo.
The move towards a green economy requires a sustained effort by all concerned, including policymakers, civil society and businesses, to rethink and redefine traditional measures of wealth, prosperity and well-being. The critical issue of eradication of poverty in Sabah is real and calls for urgent attention.
And I've always made a point that the fastest and quickest way to eradicate rural poverty is to get those people involved in our forest management work. Through the allocation of contracts, through the allocation of services, through the build-up of infrastructure, through direct employment. And if you have 2 persons from each household who are engaged directly or indirectly by us, that means you have eradicated poverty in that particular household overnight. Later on, they will be in places where the facilities are there to support a higher standard of living for them, and not to be confined in a desolate situation deep in the forest where there's no real hope for them to move up quickly up the value chain.
Admittedly, a large amount of funds are essential to facilitate such green investments. Fortunately for Sabah, the Forestry Department has been successful in forging effective linkages with local, regional and international organizations to boost its financial resources.
We are running a deficit budget, and therefore it is important that we get help from everyone. It is not the burden that is got to be imposed on the state government itself and the department only. This burden must be shared, because whatever we do in the interest of forest management will benefit the world as a whole. So we believe, as a matter of moral principle, that the world has to pay.
Sabah Forestry Department is also engaged with a host of like-minded people in order to achieve its long-term target. The department believes in forging a lasting institutional framework to facilitate its operations.
We have partners in the private sector. We have people who are philanthropists, environmental philanthropists, who equally help us, not just in terms of resources, but through their expertise, through their network program. These people are so vitally important to ensure that whatever long-term programs we have will be successful. And in order for that to be successful, we must have the input of all the stakeholders, whether they are here in Sabah, in Malaysia, or internationally.
And more recently, the state also embarked on the Forever Sabah initiative with the objective of creating a thrust for conservation and moving ahead with the green economy agenda in the state. Solid steps have been taken in Sabah that shall serve as a springboard for the implementation of green economy policies and plans that emerge from the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development at Rio de Janeiro in June 2012. Hand in hand with other partners in the heart of Borneo, Sabah is well positioned to move forward with confidence in sustainable development for the further growth, prosperity and well-being of the state and her people.